And that. What about, let's go back to Manchester United. Anthony, is he leaving?
So, we told you last week that clubs from Spain and Greece had approached Manchester United over the potential signing of Anthony. We think it would probably be a loan deal at this stage. Well, I can tell you that the clubs that we've been told now are Real Betis and Olympiacos, who have made those inquiries. Now, in fairness to Anthony, he's actually been featuring in nearly all of Ruben Amorim's squad, but he still hasn't started a Premier League game under Ruben Amorim. But not just that, he hadn't started a Premier League game under Erik ten Hag this season. So it seemed like Manchester United were edging towards, let's see if we can do some sort of deal to raise the market value. Clearly, United are not going to get anywhere near, if and when they decide to sell him permanently, the 80-odd million pounds that they spent on him to Ajax, 2 summers ago. That simply isn't going to happen. But it's clear now that they will consider offers for Anthony. As I said, the most likely idea would be a loan. And it's interesting because Real Betis have recently sold one of their wingers, Hassan Diao, to Como, which is why there might be a space and Anthony could be the one to fill it.
AC Milan are expected to formally approach Manchester United over a deal for Marcus Rashford. He was left out of the squad in yesterday's FA Cup victory against Arsenal.
Got it. We've been saying quite a bit that Tottenham and Manchester United are looking for a striker. Are they in danger, James, of both missing out?
Look, there's a little bit of danger when they're looking at a player and potentially another club comes in. And we're talking about this man, Randall Kolo-Muani, again, been the talk of the transfer window. Pretty much daily, his name seems to be mentioned. But that's because moving parts to this are happening daily. Now, we understand Juventus are making a maximum effort possible to get the player on loan this season. And that's because they want to jumpstart those attempts by the likes of Tottenham, AC Milan and Manchester United in their attempts to get this player. Now, again, just talking about this player, PSG signed him for close to 90 million euros only 18 months ago. He's fallen out of favour, wasn't in the matchday squad for the last 3 matches. They're resigned to letting him go, whether this window or the summer. But it seems like the race is hotting up for his signature. Tottenham are not out of this race yet at all. They are interested in the player and a forward is their priority this window. But competition is hotting up for him.
One player who isn't yours, so I don't know what you might say about him, but one who is.
Nothing.
Okay, Marcus Rashford maybe has been linked with a move here?
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Well, he's not giving us any names. Dharmesh, give us some names.
I mean, he was posed the names, a couple of them. Marcus Rashford, I think the information we have on that, yes, there's an interest, but they just want to be kept abreast of any developments with regard to Marcus Rashford. It looks a very difficult and unlikely deal to be done there. Evan Ferguson is the interesting one. As Jeremy Langdon posed to Graham Potter, he actually gave Evan Ferguson his debut. The issue at the moment is Evan Ferguson's out injured just now. He's going to be out for a few more weeks. And Danny Welbeck has just returned from injury. João Pedro, we don't know when he's going to return. I just wonder if both Welbeck and Pedro are fit by the end of the transfer window, whether Brighton might consider Evan Ferguson getting more regular first-team football and whether West Ham are still in for him. The other name that they're interested in is the Nottingham Forest striker, Taiwo Awoniyi. Now, there's been no official approach or offer yet, but he started just 2 Premier League games this season. He's got a contract until 2027. And as you saw from Graham Potter there, because of all these injuries, he says it would be logical for West Ham United to go into the market to try and bring the striker.
We are constantly receiving new information surrounding Marcus Rashford. Now, we have an update. The latest is that Manchester United are aware that Rashford's brother and agent are in Milan talking to AC. A number of clubs are expected to approach United formally over a potential deal. United are understood to be discussing internally whether a straight loan or a loan with an option obligation is the best course of action. If indeed they allow him to leave, that is, a permanent departure is likely to be assessed in the summer, with United aiming to raise his market value before then. All options are still open, including Rashford staying at United beyond deadline day. Marcus Rashford's brother and agent have travelled to Italy to hold talks with AC Milan's executives. It's understood Milan want to sign him on loan with an option to buy. I mean, Dan, obviously Milan seem to be the club that are most vocal about their interest in Marcus Rashford, but they're not the only club after him, are they?
Yeah, it feels like Marcus Rashford could be the name of the window so far, couldn't it? I feel like we'll be talking about him quite a lot in this
window. But AC Milan seem to be the ones who were making that contact with his agent, as you mentioned there, Dwayne. But in terms of other clubs who are also interested in Marcus Rashford, we're looking at, first of all, the Champions League finalists of last in Borussia Dortmund, and then also Serie A giants Juventus. Two very interesting other teams, and we can talk about AC Milan in a second. But when you look at Juventus, for example, Thiago Motta is their manager. Very young team, an average age of 24 years old. How would Marcus Rashford fit into a team that's quite young, developing? Borussia Dortmund, of course, finalists last year. We saw Jadon Sancho go on loan there last year. Had quite a profitable year. It was also good for United in keeping his market value as well. But AC Milan look now like they're the ones really making an effort to get him on loan with a potential option to buy as well.
Sam, is Milan a good fit for Marcus Rashford?
I think in terms of the pathway, it's worked for them in the last few seasons. We've seen Loftus-Cheek, Tomori go out there as well. And Serie A in general has been good for players that haven't really found their feet in the Premier League, with Lookman now African Player of the Year. We've seen Tammy Abraham, who's now at AC Milan as well. I think it will just be a good move for him, a place where he can find his confidence. The only thing I would say is that their most exciting player is a player that plays in his position. That's Rafael Leao. He's played 23 times this season. He's been in and out of the team in terms of playing consistently. He's only got 6 goals this season, but his last performance against Inter Milan in the Super Cup was incredible. So I think it will add to the competition for AC Milan. They're still 8th at the moment. They're probably going to be wanting to play Champions League football, and that would be a good challenge for him.
Right, lots of talk about Marcus Rashford's future in this window, and West Ham are the latest club to show an interest in the Manchester United forward. There is an acceptance that it would be an extremely difficult deal to do given Rashford's wages, and the growing feeling is that Rashford is likely to move to a European club if United do sanction a move. That said, West Ham have asked to be kept updated with any developments. It is believed that those 2 Italian clubs stay in the running, but Rashford's camp will listen to offers from Spain today. AC Milan, they've made it clear to Rashford's agent that he'd have a leading role in the team. Serie A side Como have also expressed an interest and would have no issues meeting the terms of a loan with a percentage of his salary.
OK, let's bring you up to speed with the latest transfer news now. And according to Sky in Italy, another Serie A club have joined AC Milan in the race to sign Marcus Rashford, and that is Cesc Fabregas's Como. The former Arsenal and Chelsea midfielder is the manager and part owner of the club, and they're keen on bringing Rashford to Italy. It's understood that Como would have no issues in financing a deal for Rashford, whose agent travelled to Italy for talks with AC Milan over a potential loan move earlier this week.
Now, could the Zlatan Ibrahimovic effect help his old teammate Marcus Rashford move from Manchester United to AC Milan? Rashford's representatives have spoken to clubs in Italy and Spain over a potential move away from Old Trafford. Former Milan striker Ibrahimovic is currently working at the club in an advisory role. Zlatan played for 2 seasons alongside Rashford as Manchester United won the EFL Cup and Europa League in 2017. And Ibra said this: Rashford, I know him very well. I played with him when he was young. He did great things with Manchester and is one of their players. Everyone wants to play for AC Milan, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Difficult operation. We haven't spoken to him yet. Let's see.
I think the thing is, you never know. We've seen it recently happen with Sancho. We've seen it happen with Sterling. So it might not be off the cards. Obviously, Rashford is a big Manchester United fan, growing up like that boyhood club. So would he want to go to maybe like an Arsenal? We're here in West Ham. I don't know, but I think there is a possibility there. It's not out of the question. But like Flex said, it's up to the financial side of things as well. Will the Man United hierarchy want him to go to a rival? Or if the finances are right, can he go?
That Arsenal one's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
With what's happened to Jesus.
Can you imagine Sterling and Rashford at Arsenal on loan?
Last minute, dying hours of transfer deadline day. Rashford, do you want to get here? 6 months loan, no obligation. I tell you what, I wouldn't 100% discount that, but I'd just, on a personal, I'd just like to think that Rashford would just want to clean break, get out of the Premier League.
Right, let's bring you this. AC Milan are expected to formally approach Manchester United over the signing of forward Marcus Rashford. Milan advisor and Rashford's former teammate Zlatan Ibrahimovic has spoken publicly about wanting to speak to Rashford about a move. Rashford's camp have spoken to a number of European clubs to explore the conditions of a deal. As it stands, it's believed United's preference remains a straight loan if they are to allow him to leave. Rashford was once again left out of the matchday squad for Sunday's FA Cup third-round tie at Arsenal. Head coach Ruben Amorim saying, "I don't know, we will see," when asked if Rashford had played his final game for the club. While United accept they will have to pay a substantial portion of Rashford's wages, they will look into incentivising the structure to ensure the deal works for them. So I think if anything's clear here, something, whether he stays or whether he goes, whether it's on loan or whether it's permanent, something needs to be sorted. Everything seems to be up in the air at the moment.
Yeah, I think both player and club need that clarity. And I felt when Ruben Amorim come in, I think that was one of our questions. We were saying, can he get the best out of Marcus Rashford? Because I think we all know the qualities that he's got. He showed it when he scored, was it 30 plus one season? So he can do it. He can do it in the Premier League. But it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think being sort of an academy product, the scrutiny, the expectation is very much on him all the time. We're very much watching everything that he does. So you feel if it's best for him and for the club, then maybe it is time for a new challenge.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this player. I get the feeling for quite some time. He always seems to feature in transfer windows, and it feels like this is the window where potentially he'll move. Randall Kolo Muani, 26-year-old PSG striker. He's been linked with Manchester United, and he's very much still a player of interest with regards to Manchester United. However, our information is there's been no further contact since their initial inquiry. Now, we know that doesn't mean it's off the table. Could they decide to look at it in the summer if he was still to be available? PSG are open to the move and would like to sell Muani in this transfer window if possible. He's only made 2 Ligue 1 starts this season, 8 substitute appearances. He's not started a Champions League game. Game time has been hard to come by, and you get the feeling that his time in Paris is coming to an end. He has a contract until 2028 at PSG, so they hold the cards with regards to any potential sale or loan. But what I think is really interesting is the fact that since that initial inquiry, Manchester United haven't gone back to the negotiating table to say, hang on, let's have another conversation here, which may lead you to think that someone else in the Premier League, Michael, could be interested.
Yeah, Tottenham, on my understanding, is still interested in the forwards. He can play across the whole front three. Spurs looking for reinforcements there. Of course, they've signed Anthony Nkunku, and he made a fantastic debut against Liverpool. They've got the goalie they want. People are asking me whether they're going to get a defender in. I think the priority is a forward, and Muani, yes, there is interest.
Right, let's bring you this. AC Milan are expected to formally approach Manchester United over the signing of forward Marcus Rashford. Milan advisor and Rashford's former teammate Zlatan Ibrahimovic has spoken publicly about wanting to speak to Rashford about a move. Rashford's camp have spoken to a number of European clubs to explore the conditions of a deal. As it stands, it's believed United's preference remains a straight loan if they are to allow him to leave. Rashford was once again left out of the matchday squad for Sunday's FA Cup third-round tie at Arsenal. Head coach Ruben Amorim saying, "I don't know, we will see," when asked if Rashford had played his final game for the club. While United accept they will have to pay a substantial portion of Rashford's wages, they will look into incentivising the structure to ensure the deal works for them. So I think if anything's clear here, something, whether he stays or whether he goes, whether it's on loan or whether it's permanent, something needs to be sorted. Everything seems to be up in the air at the moment.
Yeah, I think both player and club need that clarity. And I felt when Ruben Amorim come in, I think that was one of our questions. We were saying, can he get the best out of Marcus Rashford? Because I think we all know the qualities that he's got. He showed it when he scored, was it 30 plus one season? So he can do it. He can do it in the Premier League. But it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think being sort of an academy product. The scrutiny, the expectation is very much on him all the time. We're very much watching everything that he does. So you feel if it's best for him and for the club, then maybe it is time for a new challenge.
And Marcus Rashford is still a Manchester United player. Will he get his move away? Welcome back to Transfer Talk. Manchester United are expecting to receive a formal approach from AC Milan for Marcus Rashford. James, I don't know if messy's the right word, but I think for both parties it's best if Marcus Rashford does go. But why do you think it's got like this?
Well, things started so well for Marcus Rashford under Ruben Amorim. He scored in the first 90 seconds of the Amorim reign away at Ipswich, and you thought maybe he would be the number 9 for Manchester United because we know the system that Amorim plays and that you need to have that striker. And it looked like initially Rashford would get the nod over Zirkzee and Højlund, but things unravelled really quickly. He scored 2 goals against Everton, but he was really poor in the Europa League away from home against Victoria Pilsen. We've not seen him since then. He's not lived up to the standards that Ruben Amorim expects. I think for that to happen within weeks of a new manager coming in does reflect really poorly on Rashford. Of course, he's been the poster boy for United over the course of the last 9 years since he made his debut. It's been a really challenging season and a really challenging period for Manchester United, and he's shouldered much of the focus and expectations. So that clearly has been a heavy burden he's had to carry. So it's not just Marcus Rashford not performing. He's not solely to blame for this because the culture at Manchester United clearly hasn't been right for a number of seasons, and he's shouldered so much of the responsibility and expectation being that homegrown player. But the fact is, Amorim said he needs to want it. He needs to want it really, really bad. And we saw the players the weekend away at the Emirates for 60 minutes, over an hour. They held on with 10 men. Those players showed a real willingness to run for each other, and that's sadly not something that Marcus Rashford has been willing to do for Manchester United over a long period of time across a number of different managerial reigns. And for that reason, it doesn't feel like he's necessarily the right fit either in terms of where he is mentally right now, where he is with his game right now, and also because of his positioning. It's not clear where he will fit into this Manchester United system. So he's had some incredible moments in a Manchester United shirt. There's been some low points as well. We need to remember how good Marcus Rashford has been at times, but now probably is the time for him to move on for his own sake, and for Manchester United it's time to move on to this new era. Ruben Amorim picking players that he believes and players he can trust in, and Rashford isn't one of those players.
Yeah, well, Sky in Italy are reporting that Napoli are interested in Alejandro Garnacho. I mean, Dave, out of all the players, we know that effectively every player is up for sale at Manchester United, but should Garnacho be one of the players that United should be desperately holding on to?
I think it depends. He's another player, actually, that's been left out of Manchester United squads this season by Ruben Amorim. You think of the Manchester derby. I think Garnacho is viewed as one of the best young wingers in Europe. It's a case for him as how does he fit into what Ruben Amorim is trying to do at Manchester United? How does he fit into that system? Does he want to play wing-back? Does he want to play as one of the wide forwards or inside forwards? How is his game going to develop under Ruben Amorim? And I think you're right insofar as there's no player at Manchester United that is untouchable. I think in an ideal world, you wouldn't be selling Garnacho, you wouldn't be selling Kobbie Mainoo either. So from United's point of view, Garnacho is one that you would think they would be able to mould and develop, and he could become a key part of that Manchester United forward line for the next 5 years at least. So from United's point of view, I think, no player's untouchable, but actually, ideally, you would like to keep hold of him.
The first thing I think is hard. I don't remember to say clearly that I want new players. What I said is that sometimes the profile for this system is different. And the players came here with a different idea how to play. So I don't remember to say that so clearly that I want new players. What I said is that we need to improve recruitment. When we are targeting players, we need to have sure that they will cope with the demands. Sometimes you have to bet a little bit. And what I said also is that we have to improve our academy to bring young kids that feels the club in the right way, and also with that rules we are able to do some business and to have money to invest in the team. connecting that with the second part of the question, our idea is always to keep the best players and the players that we built for this club. But we know the position that the club is in the moment. We will see, but I'm very happy and I really like our players, especially the guys from the academy.
Just on that then, Ruben, can you say that Kobbie Mainoo, you want him to stay? Is he a United player that you want to keep, therefore?
Yeah, well, my players are always my favourites. So I really love my players. I want to keep my players, especially the talented ones. So, like I said, it's a special moment in this club. It's a hard moment, we will see. But, of course, I'm really happy with Kobbie. He's improving. And also with the Gardner. I don't know. We'll see. He's a player for Manchester United. We'll see. He have to work. He have to represent his club, and he loves his club. But I have to make choices. Already spoke about how I make the choices. So it is what it is. So let's continue. Let's see the next game. And like I said, I have to make a selection.